All right. So December is going to be the month of self. And it's going to be about decision making. When I reviewed the video from this weekend, it comes down to making a decision, right? The goal setting that we talked about, the conversations that we had. So what is going on here? Don't freeze on me now, baby. So I'm starting a 15-day process, 15 series process, 15 steps process of self, decision of self. And it's going to be you becoming aware of how to actually stick to your decisions, right? Decision is the ability to continue to do something long after the emotion of making a choice has faded away. So let me get to my notes here. That's not it. How's everybody doing this weekend? How are you feeling after the Saturday conversation? So today's not going to be so much meditation about, but me asking you some questions and you taking some notes and getting some ideas of what's 2025 going to be like. I know we all want to make our goals and set our decisions, and some of us set some pretty big goals this weekend on targets that we want to hit, things we want to achieve in 2025, money-based. One of the big ahas I think most people had is that in deciding to figure out which pillar you're going to work on, right? Family, finance, body, mind, society, and faith. Most people say, I'm going to focus on my finance one. But if you look at the business model that you're in, it requires you to understand society, right? You have to market to them. You got to sell to them. You have to do Zig Ziglar's transference of enthusiasm. Because you can work on your finances all you want. But if you don't have an audience to help support you in your finances, you got a job. And even then, you still got to get hired. You got to compete. You have to perform. You have to do a whole bunch of things. It's still society. So wouldn't it make sense? And I think some people had some big ahas over the weekend that they really have to focus on society, which means that your vibe is going to create your tribe. So do you want a society that is, do you want your tribe to be a snap judgment tribe? Do you want them to be open? Do you want them to be risk takers? Think about that. If you want your audience to do something they've never done before, some of you have heard me say this 1,000 different ways. If you want them to do something they've never done before, what's the first thing they're going to have to do? They're going to have to think a way they've never thought before, because thoughts drive emotions, which then causes them to have emotions they've never had before. So think a way they never thought, feel a way they've never felt, to do something they've never done. How easy is the decision to say no? If I got to think a way I've never thought, feel a way I've never felt, do a way I've never done, to have something I've never had. Right? Stress is when your thoughts, your actions, and your results are out of alignment. You know, like cortisol is such a big problem because everybody's stressed. Why is everybody stressed? Because everybody wants to win $1 million lottery ticket. Everybody wants to be able to succeed at their business. Everybody's told, if I could do it, you could do it. They're told, you can do this. Of course they can do this. You've done it. The question is do they want to do it? Do they need to do it? What is the why behind their doing? So this understanding, this process, the next 15 sessions, and we may do 1 or 2 sessions, 1 or 2 days on a session, depending upon how big it is. But the next 15 conversations topics are going to be about decision of self. How you can, for maybe, possibly the first time, have 100% confidence in your capabilities and capacity. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Drop a 1 in the chat if that would be cool for you to finally have 100% confidence in not only your capacity, but your capability to explain it and teach it to others. It comes down to understanding where they're at. And this is a precursor to the mentoring program that I'm offering for 2025. So I want to give you beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're going to hear things, see things, and do things that this community has heard bits and pieces of. And now for those of you that have been around a while, you can begin to start to connect the dots and realize that I've been teaching you and guiding you and mentoring you into things you didn't know you could do in a way that it all seems to kind of come into alignment. So that's what I wanted to give you a heads up on. That, and I would encourage you to invite as many people as you know, because they're going to need you. Let me say that again. I would encourage you to invite as many people as you know to this session, because they're going to need you. Well, why is that? Because you understand this. Maybe you haven't been doing it. Maybe you haven't fully engaged in it. You will now. And you are so far ahead of anyone else who wants to use this philosophy, because you've been a part of my organization, my community, for longer than them. And there's so much nuance to when you have a dialogue with somebody that we need to understand that the nuance are the king's new clothes. A lot of people are saying, look at my great robe, my attire of royalty, of my dreams, of my goals. I've got my journal, I've got my wants, I've got my wishes, I do my daily gratitude, I do my daily method of operation, and they got nothing. It's a lie that they've wrapped themselves up in. And you're going to have to be able to walk them through that process, down off the cliff and into the reality of the end of delusional thinking. So, in understanding that, let me give you some ideas, because I get, for those of you that know me, you know I can get off into a tangent real quick. So, a couple of questions. And this is for the recording, right? This is when I put this out and post this and share this in my audiences. My audience, because of my age, they have a tendency, right? Birds of a feather flock together. So I'm going to be, this is more than 59 this year in 2025. And a lot of people feel like they're running out of time to create what they truly want. Think about that for a second. Most people, doesn't matter what age they are. That's a phrase, that's a question that runs true. Have you ever felt like you're running out of time to create the life you truly want? I can tell you a 25-year-old is going to say yes to that. Because when we look at that, most people do not have their definite major purpose in place. So therefore, their society has wired them to the instant microwave success society of success, right? The instant micro, I need it now. You should be this now. So like you set goals year after year after year, but somehow they seem to just get away. It's because most people focus on what they want to do without ever deciding who they need to become. If I were to ask you, if you were to ask most people, most of you have been through the through the gauntlet of the 3 questions, what business are you in? Most of you might have a different answer now than you did a year ago. But if I were to ask the average audience, the majority of the audience, what business are you in? Wouldn't they give me a description of what they do? Most people focus on what they do without ever deciding who they become, who they need to become. So if you're tired of surface level fixes, the doing strategy, and you're ready to make a shift so that deep transformations can take place, then we might want to have a conversation. Because I can tell you this, 2025, we've all sat here. We sat here at the millennia. At 2020, planes are supposed to fall out of the air and everything else because the clocks weren't ready to go to 00. Then 2010 came and 2020 came and COVID came and went and all of that and lockdown and everything else. And here we are in 2025. A quarter of a century has gone of the new millennia, of the new 1,000 years. A quarter of it. Where are you? How much farther ahead are you? Would it be fair to say that it's not about what you're about to go do, it's about who you're going to become? Most people spend their lives reacting. And because most people are struggling paycheck to paycheck, they've outspent their savings, they've outspent their income, right? Credit card debt. This was back in, I don't know, the late 80s. Social Security said the average family spends 103% of their income. How is that possible? Credit card debt. So we spend our time, our lives reacting to challenges, setbacks. How many of you are trying to fix a setback? How many of you are trying to get back to even? You're not even trying to get ahead yet. You think you're trying to get ahead, but you're still trying to get back to even. How many of us are stuck in the opinions of others? Well, I told you that wouldn't work, or you're not good enough for that. This is still about the doing. Who do you need to become? You get a chance every day, every second. You get a chance to make a decision of who you're going to become. Wallace D. Waddell says it's not about doing certain things; it's about doing them in a certain way. That's why one restaurant will do well and the other one closes. We're serving the same kind of food. Why? It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing them in a certain way. And the certain way is who you become. So how many of you have set goals because you were supposed to? Your upline, your business partner, your accountant, your name it. Somebody said, you need to set goals. And we set them because they sound good. They sound good. I want to make $200,000, $500,000, $1 million. Sound good. They sound amazing. What's your evidence? Now, I can tell you, you have the evidence. You have the evidence that any goal you want to set, you can achieve. You know how I know that? Because you've done something you've never done before in the past. Let that settle in for just a second. You've done something you've never done before in the past, and you struggled. Maybe you fell short a time or two. You did it. You achieved it. You got to a finish line. Challenge is that we have to do it over and over and over until we come to a conclusion that it's no longer an illusion. Can you imagine if you had the ability to decide to say, that's what I'm going to go do, and you go do it? It's why Tony Robbins does the cold plunge. It's why anybody does the cold plunge. Yes, there may be some health benefits, I think there are. I'm not a doctor. There could be some health benefits. There's people who are on both sides of that. It's good, it's not so good. But the point is that you're going to go do something you've never done, and it proves your body is the one keeping you from doing it. How many of you won't step into a cold shower because of the way your body's going to feel? You're not going to die in a cold shower. Chances are you will not perish in a cold shower. You may get uncomfortable. Oh, would that be an expression of getting out of your comfort zone? We set goals because we're supposed to, or because they sound good, but deep down we're stuck in cycles of self-doubt, procrastination, and fear of failure. I can tell you this is why this happens, is because if we focused on the thing we needed to focus on, we would have more evidence. We keep setting bigger goals for our financial conversations. You know what I didn't hear, and you know what I've never heard 100% of the time? I have not heard anybody, not one person, when I've asked those goals, and I'm in 30 plus countries and in 40 different languages translated for me. I don't speak 40 languages. No one said, I want to build a 1 million person email list. Not one person. Not one person. When I said, what's your goal for 2022? What's your goal for 2020? I've been doing this for 40 years. When I had my industrial companies, everybody gave me a dollar figure. What's your goal for 2025? I want to do $700,000. I want to do $300,000 with this company, $200,000 with that company. What if the goal for 2025 was to create a tribe of people that would run through walls with you, run through walls for you? Do you feel the difference? What if you created a community that was so strong and so supportive of not only you, but of each other? Who would you have to become? Think about it. Who would you have to become to be able to have such an influence over people that it was intoxicating? Now, some of you might be saying, well, I don't want to be manipulative. Jim Rohn would say, that's a clue. I don't need that kind of devotion. Jim Rohn would say, that's a clue. If you're going to go do what you want to go do, you are going to influence people. I didn't say you got to influence 1 million people. What if you got 50 that were just absolutely diehards? What if you got 10 who said, I'm going to be so committed to my goals because you changed my life? You know what that's going to require? You're going to have to be on stage. You're going to have to be somebody to allow people to look up to. Oh, wait a minute. What's the phrase? Are you ready for the love? Haven't I been saying that for, if you know me long enough, for decades? So what if I told you that every single decision, big or small, either moves you closer or farther away? Do you realize that when I was mentoring people and doing the hourly thing and sending me a Y or an N, I was asking you, are you moving closer to your goal or farther away? You realize that was all decision-based? The truth is, success doesn't start with setting better goals or finding the perfect strategy. How do I know that? Because there's about 90% of the population who have set better goals and figured out better strategies, and it didn't work. It decides with starting to make the decision to align yourself with your thoughts, your habits, and your mindset. How many of you hit the snooze button this morning? that'll stop. That you get a choice to make that stop. Let me put it that way. It doesn't have to stop, but if it doesn't stop, what's changed? If you say you're going to drink your half gallon of water a day, you do it. You're going to start with today. We haven't even gotten into the program, the 15 days. This is the introduction. But imagine if you said, I'm going to do 20 minutes of walking every day. You do the 20 minutes of walking, hell or high water. There is such a resistance wired in your body, consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously. Because if you started to do the things you needed to do, if the decisions you made, you followed through on, there's a good chance you might tick off some people. There's a good chance you might encounter new people. How do you feel about 10 new people in the month of December coming into your life? 10 new people that seemed like complete strangers, but there was a psychographic. You kind of think the same way, you do things kind of similar, you feel the same way. They're part of your vibe. See, when you start to put yourself in alignment, when you finally make the decision to say enough is enough, how many of you have said that? Most of us are reacting out of being behind the eight ball. We're stuck, and we got to get the money to cover a bill. We have to do this. We're in constant struggle mode, and we're great at struggle mode. Drop an S in the chat if you know somebody who's great at struggle mode. They just seem to, every time they get down on their luck, boy, they seem to things seem to just happen so easy for them because they made a decision that wasn't made on their part. This is about the next 15 sessions are going to be about the decisions of self. This is about you and your future. Yeah, I get it. There's family, there's friends, there's business people, there's things you're already going to do. Some of the things that you do, you're going to decide aren't worth it. So what is the decision of self? And why is it so powerful? So why do some seem to achieve their goals almost effortlessly? This is what Wallace D. Wattles talks about. Even blockheads get rich, while others are stuck year after year, year after year, year after year, year after year in the same place. More importantly, how can you become one of those who are in few in number, who not only set big goals, but actually transform into the person to achieve them? And that's what this is about. Are you willing to transform? Because you've set goals. If you're still struggling financially, you've set goals to increase your finances, and they've fallen short. You got wins, and I can tell you, if you go back and you look at every time you had a win, whether it be financially, whether it be physically, whether it be mentally, emotionally, relationship, family, society, faith, anytime you had a win, you were a different person. 100% guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. It just seems so easy. You wouldn't believe what happened. It happened so, it was amazing. It's because you were a different person. You were the person where success was easy, where success came without effort. Over the next 15 sessions, we're going to get real about what's holding you back step by step and walking you into your mindset, walking you through your identity, deciding the actions of the person who wins big in 2025. It's going to be raw. It's transformational. And if you commit, you just won't achieve your goals. You'll become someone that you're very proud of. That every time you set a goal, somebody says, hey, listen, can we do that? And if you say yes, they know it's done. What would change? Just allow your body to feel this for a second. Somebody says to you, I want to achieve this. and you ran the information conversation through that brilliant brain of yours, and you said, yeah, we could do that. Who would you need to be that when somebody came to you and said, I'd like to do that all of their fears went away? All of their fears, doubts, and delays went away. Because if you say yes, you could do it, you could help them, they could achieve it, they instantly fell into peace, because they knew that if they could get you to say yes to help them, to guide them, not do it for them, to guide them, they had absolute confidence they would do pretty much anything you asked of them, because they knew that if they could just get your wisdom, if they could just get your guidance, if they could just be in your circle, their life would improve dramatically. Who would you need to become? What would that feel like? What would that feel like? For those of you that might be a little bit more mature and you've ever seen the movie Fiddler on the Roof or the musical, there's a point where Reptevia is singing and he says, I just want to sit in the church and have people ask me questions. Please, Reptevia. Please, Reptevia. And they would be asking him questions. And because of his wisdom, he was asking for wisdom that he would be able to guide them. And that was his desire, right? Recognition. To be ready for the love. 2025 is going to come, and we're going to be sitting here at December 2025. And you're going to either say one of two things: glad I did, or wish I had. You have a choice. You have a choice. 2024, glad you did or wish you had. I can tell you, if you are a person seeking more, if you are a person wanting to serve more, there's probably a large percentage that would say, wish I had. Because ego gets in the way. I can tell you, mine is, I wish I had. I've had an incredible 2024. And yet there's some pretty big holes in the shoulda, coulda, woulda for me. My health is the best it's ever been in 20 years. Some things get out of balance. So let me be very clear. In 2025, don't look for balance, because you are going to be off balance more than you've ever been. You may produce more positive results in all areas of your life that you've ever produced. Let me be very clear. The results will be better than you've ever expected in 2025. Better than you expected, because there's a part of you that wants more than your conscious mind will allow. And that's where we're going to work, is in the conscious, the subconscious, the unconscious. We're only going to work in 3 areas of your life, because those 3 areas drive everything. Your brain drives everything you are about to go do. The old programming, the new programming, the wired in, the unconscious beliefs, the conscious beliefs, the old stories. Your brain drives everything. 100%. If you have clients, you have customers, you have business partners that are going to go build a business with you, or they're going to use your services to get healthier, get wealthier, whatever it is, their brain drives all of their results. And so if you just work on your finances, if you focus on your finances and you focus on your money and you focus on your income, you're going to have a year pretty much like 2024. Your business is people. And it's time for you to understand people. And if you don't think that's what you need to get better at, this is not going to be for you. Go get another strategy, go buy another book, go attend another training. Some of you have got your calendars filled with free challenges from now until Timbuktu. And the challenge is you're not making an investment into you. You're making an investment into their free. And remember, what does it say? If the product's free, you're the product. So if you're ready to stop waiting for someday, then we need to start now. Join me, because in 2025, it won't be your best year by accident. You won't say, imagine this. Imagine you achieve your goals. Just for a second, imagine you achieve your goals in 2025, however big it is. What if, listen carefully, what if you weren't surprised? Let that settle in for just a second. What if the goal that you set, and maybe even you made a bigger goal, what if you were no longer surprised by achieving your goals? What happened to you that you achieved anytime you set your desire, you set your want, you set your wish, you set your focus, you achieved it? What if you were no longer, you won't believe what happened? What if that disappeared? About you, not about what other people have done, what other people can do, what other people can say. What if everyone around you was not surprised? We all know that person. We all know a handful of those people that when they do, we're not surprised. Of course they did it. Of course she did it. Of course he did it. It's kind of amazing that they did it. I know I couldn't have done it, but they did it, and I'm not even surprised. Of course they should have reached that goal. What's the transformation in you that would take place if you reached your 5,000 a month residually, month after month, 10,000 a month residually, month after month, 50,000, 100,000, whatever the number is? What if it was with such confidence that you're not even surprised? You learn some new things, you sharpen some new saws, you learned a lot of the things to stop doing. And people don't think you're a witch on a broomstick or a warlock on the warpath. Oh my gosh, they're just the biggest jerk. How many people do we know who get what they want and get what they achieve, but they seem to be the biggest jerk on the planet? What if that wasn't you? What if you were even the more caring, more giving, more present, more open, more apparent, more available to people? And you invited more people into your world, and yet every time you set a goal, you achieved it ridiculously fast, faster than you even imagined. Isn't that fascinating? Wow, I got better at that. What would the transformation need to be for you that you were able to have it all, give it all, live it all, and share it all? It comes down to one thing: a decision, and you taking care of you. So that's what we're going to be doing here the month of December. We're back to, for the month of December, we'll see how it goes, every day, every morning. And we may do a little intentional 5-10 minute meditation. And then we're diving right into the 15 steps. And the reason most of these challenges that you attend seem to fall short is because you never get below the surface level, which is how it's designed to do, which is why they're wired that way. Oh my gosh, I learned this and I learned that and I learned this and I need so much more because I can't do it on my own. And then of course you become part of the program. This is going to be 15 intense days that you will have some breakthroughs. You may have a little breakdown here or there, but you will have some breakthroughs. And These 15 days, you can use them, use the information you gather, you garner, you write down, you glean, and you can set your 2025 in play. Now, if you want to go more, then there's the mastermind, there's the mentorship program. But I'm going to go show you what in 15 days, maybe possibly you've never experienced before. Because I don't want to have to say, I kind of held back. So the next 15 days, there's no hold back. Next 15 sessions. So it may be 20 days. We may go deeper into a day or two on a different session. So welcome to the decision of self. I hope you're excited. Maybe you're broken out in a little sweat or something, but questions, comments, thoughts? Who's excited?
I'm excited.
Cool. It's going to be a wild ride.
So very excited. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to take the weekend, the 4-hour goal setting training that we did on Saturday. For those of you that want that, let me know. But it's on YouTube right now. It's 4 different videos. But that's going to be kindergarten.
Well, I've been breaking out into multiple sessions of sweating, going over my notes from Saturday and from this morning, and I'm ready. Thank you. This is exciting.
Good. I'm glad you're excited. Remember that. Is it recorded? Yes, it's recorded. I can play that back when all of you are like, want to shoot me. I'll have to keep the dogs in my office so I know when you're coming. And listen, none of it's going to be difficult. No, there's not one thing we're going to do that's difficult. The reason Heather maybe was breaking out into little mini sweats while she was going over her notes from the goal setting. I thought that might have been, I don't know. The goal setting program we did this weekend, we got into it, and 90 minutes into it, I'm like, we might want to take a break. There's more. We'll take a break. If they want to come back, they'll come back. And we came back and it was over 4 hours. What the final of the total time was. And I had no idea how long it was going to take. And that was a clue. We spent 4 hours. We hit some pretty big rocks and broke them down. And I said, that's still surface. That's still surface. My goal is not about getting you more informed. My goal is not about teaching you more. It's about you being able to transform yourself to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm frustrated with not being able to keep the glue of my community. Whatever it is, whatever the thing is that you need most, that in the next 15 sessions, you are going to have a clear 100% rock solid blueprint to fix your biggest challenge, and maybe a whole bunch more. So tomorrow it starts. Now I could be like my mentors were, be a real jerk, and it starts at 6 a.m. And if you're at 6:01, you just don't get in. Now, if you were paying me 10 grand a month, yeah, that's how it goes. This is about being able to do a decision, be there, and listen. What do they say if you're 10 minutes early? What's the expression? You're 5 minutes late. Lombardi time, right? 15 minutes early. So I'm just saying I can't imagine you would like incremental growth in 2025. I just can't imagine. If you're still hanging out with me and in this world and in this community and committed to serving each other, you know the best way the best way Luis can serve you or Heather can serve you? The best way any of you can serve the group is to go frickin' win and win big. the best way Paul can serve this community, nobody's here has got to be the teacher. I'll teach. But go be the inspiration for them to go, holy crap. They did it. I could do it. They're hearing the same stuff. So that's going to be the biggest way you can create success in your 2025 is to go be successful. To go say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds and lose 10 pounds. Do you know how many people would pay you lots of money to keep the 10 pounds off that they want to lose? Just say you're going to go do it and go do it. I added an extra $100 to my income this month. Go do it. Not big redwood tree chop downs. Go plant some seedlings. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions before I let you go? It's big. I get it. It's a commitment.
I'm ready. 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 I'm ready.
I love
I'm
it.
ready. It's time.
Cool.
It's time.
And so now the question is for you, and I believe it is based upon some of the texts and conversations we've had. This is it. Because the problem is that every one of us is going to say, do me a favor. Don't go tell anybody you're going to go make a 2025 year your best year ever. Don't go tell anybody that. Because your subconscious goes, oh, see, it's already started. You said that in 2023, about 2024. Break the patterns. Just let's get out of their ears and into their eyes. And that works for us too. So
It's time.
good. I agree. And it's a good time to start.
It is. It is. Love you.
Love you too, brother. Thanks, man. Who else? Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions? Take with you.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Wheezy.
How are you?
Outstanding.
Yes, excellent. I'm very excited. There's a little bit of a difference with this excitement is that after the weekend, I was extremely excited in a not jump on the couch kind of way. My heart is there. I feel my body's there, but no buts. That doubt, all of that just doesn't have any strength. Oh, it's fighting, but it doesn't have center stage. And I'm very excited about that because can only go forward.
So do you remember when you were little? Did you have brothers and sisters?
I do. Yes, okay. I did. Yes.
So when you were little, of course, you still have them, they're still around. But do you remember was there ever a moment where one of them held their hand on your forehead and you were trying to swing at him?
Oh, yes.
That's fear and doubt. It's there. You got it stopped. It's still swinging at you, but it's not hitting you now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful image. I love it.
And you're laughing at it, right? Aren't you laughing
at
it? If you're fear and doubt, you're getting ticked off. But if you're the brother or sister holding you back going,
yep. That is awesome. I have one other question,
yes,
sort of not related, and that is Life Navigator. Is that happening this evening? Is that paused for a bit?
Yeah, because I don't know that it's doing what it needs to do.
Oh, okay.
And what I mean by that is that it's supposed to be a self journey, but nobody seems to come and ask questions about the navigator. Does that make sense? So
good point.
It's great for us to have conversations, but it's supposed to be on navigating your life. And I was in this particular area and I asked myself these questions, and those don't seem to be the questions that are coming. So I did a poor job in creating it. I can do better. And that's what I'm working on.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for that. And this is very exciting. The last 36 hours have been phenomenal. I just look forward to them getting better and better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else? Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions? So tomorrow, come with your notebook. Come early, 5:58. And be ready.
5:58.
Well, we start at 6 a.m. for us.
Okay. Oh well, yeah. It's 2 hours. That's okay. I got it.
Luis is like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get up and put a shirt on. So, and they will, this isn't a, listen carefully. This is not a download of information from me to you. It will be interactive, much like you can ask anybody that attended the weekend event. It's interactive. And the reason it needs to be interactive is so that you realize you have this wealth of capability and capacity already inside you. Because if you can't ask yourself the question, listen carefully, this should go on a t-shirt. If you can't ask yourself a question, no answer will work. Many of us have some of the greatest answers on the planet to questions we never asked, which is why we can't implement them.
Bonus.
Pretty cool, isn't it? So you have to be able to ask the questions, because once we ask the questions, we now open the flow of the river for me to throw in a whole bunch of water and solutions and ideas that you can begin to jump on and float away. Because once I hit the end button on this in a couple of minutes, you have to be floating somewhere. You got to be going somewhere. Too many people they open up the river and they say that river was going to take you to your dreams, and there's nothing flowing in it. And when you leave them after a 4-day challenge or a 5-day challenge or reading the book, you're sitting on riverbed and you have nothing to float on, nothing to carry you, nothing to take you to the next intersection of your river. And you get stuck and you go, well, I got to buy a bigger canoe. No, you got nothing to float on. You have nothing, no flow going on in your life. My goal is to keep you in flow. If we can keep you in flow, you can get to your goals a hell of a lot faster than dragging your kayak on the riverbed. So that's my 2 cents. Okay. Y'all ready? Y'all excited? I would encourage you. This is going to be intense, and the replays are not going to be available till January. Because, like it or not, this is a training. This is going to be a $500 training. It'd probably be a $1,400 training, $1,499 training that I will sell as a product. Because do you think there's going to be people in January who would like to know how to set their 2025 up the best way ever? You're going to pay for it with your time. So I would encourage you, don't miss. I would encourage you, don't miss. And there may be some impromptu evening sessions. I'm going to give you all I got. And if you know what that means, you know that there's probably going to be a lot more than 15 hours of content that's going to come out of this. Because I want it to be world class. And we're going to start playing it world class. So there you go. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions? Life jackets are sold in the ship store. So
I'm excited, Sean. I'm ready to cry and get mad at you again, probably.
good. Yes, probably both.
Yes, I'm excited. Sean, I just wanted to comment. I didn't want to interrupt because it's not regarding this, but I hadn't been able to connect to the calls because I was attending clients. I've been getting morning clients, and
wow, shocking.
But, it's good.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's awesome.
Yeah. But you remember the thing I said about the schools,
Yep.
like investing in the schools? Well, I didn't do that because I was like, man, this is big. This is complex. I want to do it and I'm going to start investing in that. But I got another idea and I said, oh, yeah, this is going to make good impact here. And I'm going to be able to directly create this impact. So I had one of my sales guys. He said, well, Thanksgiving is coming up. Last year, I gave some of the leftovers that we had to the homeless people around. And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea, bro. That's good. Like, people gotta eat. And he said, yeah, so this year, thanks to the business, what you said, because I had told him the idea about the school. So that brought up that idea for him. And he said, thanks to the business, I'm gonna buy this year 15 foods. And when he told me that, I said, bro, I love that. Let's triple it. So I put up the money so we could buy 50 additional foods. And we went all around for a whole day on Friday and just handed out the 60 foods all around like the metro area. And it felt amazing. It was like just seeing the impact. I made a video. I'm like trying to edit it. But it was just so gratifying to just see and hear the gratitude. And I was like, man, there's what, $300? And you probably changed someone's week, month, I don't know. But it's definitely something that I encourage everybody to do, because it wasn't up until Sean told me the correct narrative to tell myself to do it. It really started making sense. And I was like, wow, I can really be having a much greater impact and building much more of my influence by doing these kind of things. And it's all really giving more value to me, but I'm giving back on every single one of the things that I'm able to do now. Thanks to my business, thanks to my team, thanks to Sean, and really, it's just thanks to the team. I love this mastermind concept, because all we get to see is that, because Sean gave me an idea during this call where he was giving an idea to everybody. One of my guys was able to have a great idea, and then we pursued that. It was like the impact was made. Even though the idea wasn't originated fully by me, it was this whole concept that was necessary of you guys asking your questions that led to that specific donations thing that really took place on everything, all this side. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm in Puerto Rico. So that conversation that we had here in this call made me help 60 people here with my team and just feed people on Thanksgiving. So I just wanted to put that out there and say thank you, Sean, because I hadn't thought about it. Oh my God. Even the cats know it is wild. But honestly, thank you, Sean. And I'm gonna be hopping on the calls. If I can hop on a call one day, I'll try to get the recording, but trust me that I'm going to be attending this event and really just trying to get all the growth that I can out of this.
So I would encourage you, and I love that story, because guess what I get to say?
What you get to say.
My trainings helped feed 60 people this past Friday, Black Friday in Puerto Rico. I wasn't even there. See the impact, right? The ripple effect.
Sean, I hadn't put the Black Friday in it. I was just the day after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
People were buying. I was giving out free food.
We took our just like the way we use energy differently, we use Black Friday differently, and we made Black Friday the good day. We gave back on Black Friday. And so make it a thing that every time somebody buys one of your things, you're going to feed a family for a week. 50 meals feeds a family for a week. So every time you put in an installation, you're going to feed a family.
Wow. And I was thinking about that too. Like, wow, maybe from every install, from every client, I can let them know, look, thanks to you changing to solar, 10, 20, 30 people were fed.
Make it a number and say, listen, our commitment in selling solar is to eliminate hunger on the island. Go big. Just don't go 20. Eliminate hunger. You're going to eliminate hunger on the island. Not one kid is going to go to sleep if the sun is out.
You see how this story evolved, people? That's why I had to tell Sean that I did it. You know, I wasn't thinking. I even forgot it was Black Friday. I don't participate in Black Friday. I know it's just a marketing scheme. Wow. Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome, brother. This is what I get to do. I'm only good at a couple of things, but what I'm good at, I'm pretty good at.
Thank you. Alex, what's going on, my bro? Sean, you know what? Ever since the mastermind, I have been connected to Alex from Serbia forever. This guy, like, Sean, you cannot even say, like, you created a real relationship. Like, I'm gonna go to Serbia and meet this guy one day. Like, I love this kid, man.
I love it. And that's what this is about. And that's a couple of things. One, to hear that for me is amazing. Imagine that happening as you start to bring people together. And you got people from Puerto Rico going to Istanbul or wherever. So I love it. And the both of you are just a little bit nuts. So that's good. That's a good thing. So I love it, love it, love it. All right, everybody. 8 o'clock. I love you tons. I appreciate you. And these calls will only be 1 hour. They won't go any longer. So you'll have to wrap it up by the time it gets to the top of the hour. So we'll go from 6 to 7. 8 o'clock. I haven't turned my clock back yet. That's why it says 8 o'clock. They're going to go for an hour. That's it. Because if we can't get it set in an hour, then we're deluding ourselves. So 1 hour. I appreciate it. I love it. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling, decision of self misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
Love it, love it, love it. Tomorrow morning, somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. Pura vida. Somebody give me some Lydia.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us. We'll need that over the next 15 sessions. And the queen of self-decision, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss Lee.
Boss Lee, we love you, girl. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We will see you tomorrow morning.